Ensuring that every child has access to a high-quality education is a top priority shared by all Republicans and Democrats alike. With the Every Child Achieves Act, Congress now has an opportunity to correct the shortcomings of No Child Left Behind. Instead of setting artificial and unattainable requirements, the new legislation allows states to set their own standards for success. It puts parents and teachers in the driver's seat, not Washington bureaucrats.
Lawmakers in Washington are right now working on legislation to fix parts of the No Child Left Behind Act. Utah Senator Orrin Hatch says Utah is playing a big role as this bill comes together.
To keep parents and teachers in charge, I've proposed the Pay for Success program, a flexible funding stream that would allow schools, districts, nonprofits, and small businesses to develop proposals based on the specific needs of students and the community.
Senator Hatch is using
Utah's senior senator, Orrin Hatch, is in the middle of some significant education reforms going through the Senate, including a measure called Pay for Success that the Senate passed today. The idea? Set aside money to help local programs that can prove they're working.
Utah has led the way on Pay for Success by implementing the first ever program designed to expand access to early childhood education for at-risk children.
Well, it's called the Every Child Achieves Act, Kim, and it passed the Senate quite easily this week. Utah Senator Orrin Hatch says it's an opportunity to fix the problems with No Child Left Behind. The bill also includes a Pay for Success initiative based on a Utah model and calls for increased student privacy, a big concern in today's digital world. Those were amendments added by Senator Hatch.
The bill we are considering will make significant improvements to the quality of education in Utah, and it will enhance the ability of our students to compete in a global economy once they enter the workforce.
The Every Child Achieves Act passed the Senate on a vote of 81 to 17. It will now be considered by the House, Kim, where they are working on a reform bill of their own.
The Obama administration facing a new hurdle in trying to sell the Iran nuclear deal to Congress, and it comes down to a matter of timing. Senators, Republicans and Democrats have blasted the White House for paving the way for the United Nations to go ahead and lift the sanctions against Iran before Congress has had the 60 days required to review the deal. Joined now by Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah, the most senior GOP senator. Good to have you with us, sir.
Nice to be with you.
Good morning. It's nice to see you here in Washington. So Samantha Power, the U.S. ambassador to the UN on Wednesday, circulated a draft resolution that would end international sanctions on Iran once the IAEA verifies its compliance in the deal curbing its nuclear program. So apparently it's like, you know, all steam ahead for this plan.
Well, that's a real mistake. I think the administration's making a terrible mistake by not going through Congress. But this is just like jamming a stick in your eye in the Congress. Look, it's the Congress that really counts here. And I don't know that I'll ever fully understand why President Obama does some of these things, other than he must hate Congress, is all I can say. The people understand that this is a dangerous thing. We also have to consider the feelings of Israel and Saudi Arabia and other Egypt and other friends, Jordan, you know, just to name a few of them, other friends in that area that have to be as frightened as you know, Israel is. Look, you just don't do this to your allies. You just don't do this to your friends. You just don't do this to the Congress of the United States. Jab a stick in their eyes and say, I don't care what you do, we're going to get rid of sanctions. I think if I was the president, I'd be working with Congress, because I think by working with Congress, he has a better chance of getting approval of this and thus full American support for it. But I'm not sure he cares.
Utah Senator Orrin Hatch said he is, quote, very, very concerned about the deal during a brief on the train in Washington, D.C.
We got to make sure that it's verifiable, because the Iranians have not been people that have been very trustworthy in the past. And they continuously break agreements.
Utah's congressional delegates say they're worried the nuclear deal announced with Iran today could lead to more terrorism. Senator Orrin Hatch said Iran's not trustworthy, and any deal should include a way to make sure its leaders comply.
Senator Orrin
Orrin Hatch's office tweets, Congress must not hesitate to oppose this deal if it endangers the security of the U.S. or our allies.
Senator Orrin Hatch issued this statement on the nuclear agreement, saying any deal that removes sanctions without robust means of ensuring the regime's disarmament and compliance with its international obligations is worse than no deal at all.
In national news happening today, President Obama is expected to hold a news conference that will actually talk about the nuclear deal reached with Iran in more detail. If Congress rejects it, the president has already said he has and will use his veto power to overturn it. Utah representatives in Washington already speaking out against the deal as well. They say it gives a big break to a nation that has not been very friendly with the U.S.
The Iranians have not been people that have been very trustworthy in the past. I'm very, very concerned about it.
Lawmakers have about 2 months before they get a chance to vote on the deal or do nothing.